in this community, for the black community. As a historian, I've been able to collect artifacts about the Grand Lyric, especially as it was related to Simmons College. Graduation exercise, an actual copy of a graduation exercise that took place in 1929. Charles H. Parrish, President, Simmons University, June the 6th, 1929. In fact, this was the last graduating class of Simmons University prior to it downsizing into what became known as Simmons Bible College. But during its heyday and its zenith, when it was a thriving university, they held all their commencement exercises at the Grand Lyric. This means much to me because my grandmother's name is listed as one of the graduates, Flora Dean Washington. That was my maternal grandmother. And I have a sister named Pamela Dean, and she was named after her. Also, the Grand Lyric is also the place where one of our professors and one of the great poets in American history, who was a professor of English at Simmons University in 1910, 1911, he used to debut at the Grand Lyric. I know you've all heard of James Weldon Johnson, Lift Every Voice and Sing. There was also he had a contemporary named Fenton Johnson. I want you to remember him. Go on Wikipedia, look up Fenton Johnson. James Weldon Johnson said this of Fenton Johnson. He said Fenton Johnson was the first great Negro poet of protest. The first, so before there was the great Hannah Drake, there was Fenton Johnson. And Fenton Johnson, one of the great poets, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Fenton Johnson, but he was here performing at the Grand. In fact, I have in my hand one of his books called Songs of the Soil, a book of poetry written by Fenton Johnson. And in this book, on page 39, guess what he does? He writes a poem to honor Louisville, Kentucky. And let me read it. This is what Fenton Johnson from Chicago said about Louisville, Kentucky. He said, I long to be in dear old Louisville, where all the folks are warm and hearts at hand. I long to be in dear old Louisville, where buds and trees and bees are in all the land. No pavement shines so red with heaven's gold, no sky so full of springs and songs of cheer. No soldier marching forth to fight the foes have souls so free from hatred and from fear. On many nights in Louisville I sleep and smell the sweetness of the summer earth. On many nights I would huddle with boys and girls and sing beneath the window songs of mirth. And on Sunday I would go to church, and kneeling I would thank the God of all, that simple folks and simple ways were mine, while many others had nothing to call. The big old London far across the sea, the good Chicago with her open dew, the New Orleans with men's striped dress, and once a year 1,000 trumpets blow, and in the valley kissed by snow and heart, the God my Father whose worship built his home, and Gabriel in the night with breath and fire wrote Louisville across the sparkling dome. Fenton Johnson, one of the great poets who performed at the Lyric. But we don't know about Fenton Johnson, and many of us don't know about the Lyric. And the reason we don't know about them is because when you do not have institutions like L.C.C.C. who are custodians and stewards of our story and our history, then that story and that history gets lost. Ricky Jones, professor at University of Louisville Pan-African Studies Department, said this about Black history, which I think is profound. Ricky Jones said that Black history is worth studying. Black lives are worth living, and a Black future is worth crafting. Black history is worth studying. Black lives are worth living, and a Black future is worth crafting. And that is what L.C.C.C. is doing by reinstituting, giving birth again to this great historic institution, the Lyric. One of the persons, one of the brilliant young persons who gave their testimonial, said that in effect, having art, basically it gives them an exposure to a world that they are unexposed to. Martin Luther King Jr. said that the three things that hurt the Black community are: 1, economic deprivation, the lack of resources; 2, social isolation; 3, emotional frustration. And the emotional frustration that many Blacks feel and often turn on themselves is the result of economic deprivation and social isolation, in which kids live in ghettos, in which they are not exposed to the world beyond. The beautiful thing about L.C.C.C. and the Grand Lyric is that it helps to break those three things up. Kids get exposed to the arts that they never would get exposed to if it were not for L.C.C.C. And then it's an economic engine. This is economic development, and all this helps to eliminate the emotional frustration. And all this is important. Someone once asked, a Native American once asked a cowboy, when are the Native Americans going to start winning some of these battles on television? Because in all the movies, the cowboys always won. And so this Native American said, when will the Native Americans win some of these wars? The cowboys always win. And the cowboy winked at him and said, let me tell you when Native Americans will start winning some of the battles. When they start writing the script. But as long as you allow someone else to write the script, they determine who wins the battle. The beautiful thing about L.C.C.C. and the opening of the Lyric is that we get to write the script, and we get to determine who wins. And that's important, who writes the script, because quite often there's a bias when it comes to writing scripts. If I were to ask you, for example, who's the villain and who's the hero in the story of the three pigs? You would say the hero is the three pigs, especially the pig who reported the wolf. And that's because you are pig-centric. But the wolf who was in jail because the pig told the story, which criminalized the wolf who was in jail, I went to visit him because I knew I was coming to this event. And I asked the wolf, I said, Wolf, tell me, what really went down? He said, thank you, but maybe they can do my play at the Grand Lyric because for years I have been misrepresented. I said, well, what went down, dude? He said, let me tell you what happened. He said, I was the first wolf in an all-pig neighborhood. He said, I integrated a pig neighborhood. And the pigs had seen all of these plays and movies and scripts which criminalized wolves. So they were afraid of me moving into the all-pig neighborhood. But I, because of social justice, moved into the all-pig neighborhood. And then one day, just being a good neighbor, I had a terrible cold. He said, I went to my pig neighbor's house because all the stores were closed to see if he would loan me some NyQuil. When he saw me through the peephole, he yelled back at me. He said, not about to hurt my chinny chin chin. And so guess what I did? I had a cold. I sneezed. I didn't huff and puff. I sneezed. The house was made of straw. It was not my fault. He didn't construct the house correctly. It was made of straw. I sneezed. The house came down, killed the pig. And since the pig was dead, I thought, well, it doesn't make good sense to waste the chitlins, the pig feet, and the hamburgers. So guess what I did? I ate it. The same thing happened to the other pig. I said, I got a cold, and he had a house made of straw, and it fell down on him, and so I said, why waste all this food? The third pig, he wouldn't let me in. He had a house of stone. He wouldn't let me in, but you know what I noticed? I noticed that up from his chimney, steam was coming. I said, oh, that's a great idea for me to go up there, use some of the steam to clear out my nostrils and my sinuses. And I went up there, slipped down the chimney. He had a pot for me, put me in a pot, called the police. Police called the courier. Courier gave the report from the perspective of the pigs. Then somebody got the rights to write the book about the story from the perspective of the pigs. Then somebody did a movie and a play about the pigs. And it's been perpetuated now for hundreds of years. And unfortunately, I have been criminalized because I've never had a chance to get my story out. And guess what? In a real sense, that is a metaphor of Black history. Because Black people have not been free through major networks to tell our story. And when we have our own institutions like L.C.C.C. and the Grand Lyric, we get a chance to tell our story not in a demeaning way, to not tell our story in a passive, aggressive, disrespectful way. You know, you ever wonder why, especially if you're in New Orleans, names like Queen and Leroy are famous names? Because they were meant as names of derision for Black people. Halle Berry started a play called Queen. And they called her Queen because they was to say, you're supposed to be a queen, but look at you, you're out there picking my indigo and my cotton. Or Leroy. You know a lot of Black people are named Leroy because that was a name given to Black people to disrespect them. The word Leroy literally comes from the French word royal. So you see the word Leroy. And it was a word sent to make fun of the person who was out there picking cotton. Hey, Royal, what you doing? Our story not being able to be told, but when you have institutions like this, we don't learn that we're Leroy. We learn about Fenton Johnson, Paul Laurence Dunbar. We learn about other great songwriters and playwrights and poets. And this can only happen, as I close and take my seat, if we have an even playing field in America. What I mean by an even playing field? If we can create an even playing field, the Black community can excel. How would you like to play football? And one side of the field has a slope to score touchdowns. And one side of the field has a slide to score touchdowns. Well, the team that has to go up the slope is going to lose because it's not an even playing field. It's only when we take the slope down and say, let's make things even. How would you like to play basketball and one team gets 5 players, the other team gets 10 players, one team gets to play on a basketball goal, which is regulation, and that's 10 feet high, 18 inches in diameter around the cylinder. But the other team only gets 3 players, and the cylinder, they have to shoot the ball, it's not 18 inches, but it's 9 inches, and the goal is 20 feet. That's not an even playing field. In fact, do you know why they switch at halftime? So that whatever team is playing on one side, when the second half they play on the other side. Or do you ever wonder why in basketball they just happen to switch goals? Was because they know that in human nature, there's always this injustice that is in us that likes to rig the system to make sure that the playing field is not equal. If kids in West Louisville are given, our people in West Louisville are given an equal playing field in philanthropy, when you have $800 billion in philanthropy in the United States of America, and only 7% of the $800 billion is given to people of color, and only 1% of the 7% goes to blacks. And that 1% of the 7% that is used to service blacks in philanthropy, 1% of 800 billion, just 1%, usually is a 1% that is given to white-led institutions instead of black-led institutions like L.C.C.C. What makes this so wonderful is that blacks get to be in the lead. And that's equaling the playing field. And when we're in the lead, let me tell you what's going to happen. We'll learn about Fenton Johnson. And guess what? The wolf will finally get a chance to tell his story. Thank you.
As I introduce Mr. Kevin Fields, the president and CEO here, I would like to tell my story a little bit. So I am originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. I moved here about 7 years ago. And 5 of those 7 years I have been in L.C.C.C. The first year, I was recording secretary on the Team Leadership Council, and for the past 4 years, I have been Team Leadership Council president. That is an elected role. I did not say, oh, you be president. They was just like, no. Everybody on the council had to decide who wanted to be president. I had to do a speech, and the only reason I say that is because L.C.C.C. taught me how to do that speech. They taught me how to get up here and speak to you, or I'm only like this nervous. Within a year, they broke me out my shell with the help of Ms. Yolanda Demery, who was our former advisor. And since then, I've been able to do things like this. They asked me to do this yesterday.
Hey.
I literally typed all of this morning. So that being said, I would like to bring up Mr. Fields, who has been a part of the Team Leadership Council in a major role. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's give Monia a hand. She was like me, she was ready to be a scout, and scout motto is to be prepared. She was certainly prepared. I want to do something here that's on the program, and one thing that's not on the program. We did have a bit of a groundbreaking. We don't do the traditional groundbreaking today because, as you can see, there's a major demolition going on the construction site that will be the site of the Grand Lyric. So we were pleased that Mayor Fisher joined us out there in the midst of the dust, and our teams were there too to help take a photo op. But we do want to, this is a 2-event-in-1 celebration. We do want to take a moment to acknowledge the opening of the brand new commercial kitchen here at Old Walnut Street. So I want to ask Mariella Guidewall, the Chief of Economic Development for our community, to come across the room here and take a position there, along with a few of our board members, if you wouldn't mind joining her over there, as well as a few of our young people. And where's Erica? Let's give Mary Ellen the scissors, because a part of this project here is her capacity to bring money from the state government to develop this state-of-the-art commercial kitchen. So I'm pleased that we're going to be opening up this food service business here within the next few weeks. The food that's being provided for refreshments today is prepared by Darsha Barber Southern Bistro. So after the program today, please enjoy that. we're currently working on negotiating with Darsha Barber to be the operator of this commercial kitchen. So for them, this is kind of an interview process, so you guys, you have an opportunity to share some feedback. But we're going to take a minute here and to do a ceremonial ribbon cutting ceremony. Don't take all the pictures until I get there.
That's when you want to come.
Dinner and a show. We had dinner, so we're on our way. All right, so we're gonna go. Everybody smile, lean in. We'll think you can go fast. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Very important to have quality out-of-school time programming for our kids. Now, they didn't get this training at Jefferson County Public Schools. They got it right here in our programs at L.C.C.C. So we heard the mayor speak earlier about the threat that we're going to experience with the city budget and the fact that there may be some cutting of these kinds of programs. So I think we all need to speak loudly about the importance of keeping such programs here for our kids. So I want to thank them for doing a great job. So again, my name is Kevin Fields. I'm proud to be the CEO of Louisville Central Community Center. This is a big day for us. It's exciting to be making history right in the middle of Black History Month, right here in West Louisville. I'm really excited about everything that I've witnessed. You know, my job has been made easy by all the folks that have spoken before me about the significance of this moment. So I just want to take a couple of minutes to acknowledge some folks that have been very special in making this thing happen. You know, and in the spirit of this being Valentine's Week, I know we thought yesterday was Valentine's Day, I do want to acknowledge the person of whom which I wouldn't be the man that I am, but for my beautiful wife, Sherry. So please give her a hand. And certainly, I wouldn't be the chief executive officer that I am, but for having a great staff here at L.C.C.C. Today's production is a product of our development office, led by our Senior Vice President, Tom Gertis. So please give Tom a hand on the great work that he does as our chief fundraiser. You've heard from Erica Bledsoe, the great work she's doing with the youth theater troupe. So we want to celebrate her work, her continued work. Erica has started her educational pursuits again, so we're going to continue to support her as she goes to the Kentucky Art School here in Louisville to get a degree in the arts. So she's already a master of the arts, but she's going to get a degree, so we celebrate her. Also, this is a big week for our adult service program. Our Director of Family Services, Patricia Williams, has led an effort here that we're working in partnership with Metro United Way, with the Humana Foundation support, and doing a major financial literacy training initiative. So we're pleased to be partnering with MUW, Metro United Way. We've got about 40 persons that have been in a week-long training here, and we're really excited about launching this new series of financial literacy. Everybody here to be ambassadors. Give what you can individually, give what you can organizationally, give what you can from a corporate standpoint, but more importantly, spread the word and be an example. Because if you can give and you can call upon others to give, because what we're talking about is creating a condition where these children and the future generations of children that come through this neighborhood will have a place that they can call home, as you heard from the children, and it's going to make a difference in their lives for generations to come. More is to come on this. We're going to be following up with you in a lot of ways. Stay tuned for, and if we don't have your contact information, if you want to get in our database, where's our Team Leadership Council person that's collecting information on people? Right here, okay, so Manaya is going to make sure we can connect with you beyond today. If you're in our database already, if you're already getting our emails, if you're already connected to us via social media, you will be getting additional follow-up. But when you see it, please engage it. Please take the time to engage it. Please do that. You know, I appeal to you to please do that because, you know, as a leader of this organization, my vision is to get this thing done in 2019. Because I got other stuff to do. This ain't the only thing. So we got to get this one done in 2019 so we can get on to the rest of the agenda beyond that. You heard about our new strategic plan that we're going to be rolling out pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. And that will conclude our press conference. Oh, by the way, I do want to thank the media. Thank Shirley Sanklin for helping us get media out. Got a lot of partners that have been acknowledged in our program that I have not acknowledged here. So, but everyone, please have a great week. Enjoy.
Well, this is a building that's coming down so the new theater can come up. They're working hard. Y'all know I love construction shows. Watch progress at work. The demolition process of a new theater for Louisville's West End. See you soon. I'm cold. This is Cornelia Moss-Oldham speaking on behalf of Cornelia TV Presents. I would like to thank Kevin Fields once again and the staff at Louisville Central Community Center for allowing me to capture such a historical story. Now, right behind me, you'll see that they're knocking down buildings so they can have a new theater. I know it's going to be special. It's long overdue, and I'm very excited about it. How about you? Follow me on Cornelia TV Presents. We'll cover this story, and as you see it rise up, I'll be there. This is Cornelia Moss-Oldham speaking on behalf of Cornelia TV Presents. See ya. Peace. Holla. Wow.